Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be diving into a profoundly mind-shifting perspective today. Seriously, we're exploring a completely different way to look at human suffering, our family lineage, and, well, our ultimate purpose. If you've ever felt that heavy, overwhelming burden of watching a loved one struggle, or if you've ever wondered why certain painful patterns just keep repeating in your family, like a loop, well, this Explainer is going to connect a whole lot of dots for you. It's a deep, definitely challenging, but ultimately super empowering framework. Let's get right into it.
Right off the bat, we have to ask a really tough question. What is the real reason parents pass away in pain? Listen, it's one of the most universally heartbreaking experiences we can go through, watching a parent suffer in their final days. Naturally, it brings up immense grief for us. But our source material asks us to just pause for a second. It asks us to view this not just as a medical tragedy, but as a profound spiritual lesson. The universe, according to this philosophy, isn't just being cruel to us. It's actually trying to teach the child something absolutely crucial to the parent's struggle.
Section 1. Parents' Pain and True Piety. We're flipping our traditional understanding entirely here.
So the source completely flips our traditional understanding of what it means to be a dutiful, loving child when a parent is declining. Conventionally, what do? We feel pity, we buy them the best vitamins, we try to artificially prolong their life as much as medically possible because we think, hey, this is love. But the spiritual approach, it argues that if we merely feel sorry for them without actually studying their life to see exactly why they ended up in this painful situation, we are missing the point entirely. True piety isn't just about medicine. It's about learning the lesson of their life so we can prepare for our own future and, critically, avoid making those exact same mistakes.
And this brings us to a rather harsh but honestly crucial point presented by the source. Artificially prolonging life without learning the lesson, it only extends the pain. The text explains that if the child just isn't getting the message, the universe will actually keep making the situation worse. It'll push the parent into further suffering and even extreme indignity. And it doesn't do this out of malice. It's a wake-up call. The universe is practically screaming, look at this, learn from this, or this is going to be your fate too. To really wrap our heads around why this happens, we need to step out of the hospital room for a minute and look at the broader picture.
Section 2. Generational Spiritual Family Lineage. Let's zoom out to your family history.
You see, unresolved spiritual ignorance doesn't just disappear when someone passes away. It acts like an inescapable loop. Think of it like this. First, your ancestors might have relied blindly on shamanic rituals without really understanding them. Then, the next generation comes along and repeats that exact same blind reliance. Then maybe the form changes, right? It shifts to religious dependence, but that core lack of true enlightenment, it's still there. And finally, this heavy, unresolved spiritual burden is passed directly down to the current child, you. It's a repetitive cycle of wandering in the dark.
The crucial concept to grasp here is a term called jewel, which roughly translates to a cord or a chain. The source defines this as the spiritual lineage or the karmic chain of a family. Because of this chain, we are quite literally destined to walk the exact same painful path as our parents, facing the exact same struggles over and over. That is, unless we actively wake up, learn the lesson, and cut this chain once and for all.
Okay, so how do we actually cut this chain? The source gives us some really practical steps. First up, you have to acknowledge your family's specific spiritual history and patterns. Look at them honestly. Second, you have to stop repeating the same blind rituals or behaviors your ancestors did. Break the habit. Third, deeply study and learn how to live correctly. And finally, and this is a big one, you must leave a clear manual. By that, I mean your earned wisdom and teachings. Leave that for your children so they don't have to start from scratch.
Section 3. The Hidden Principle of Liberation. We are completely redefining the afterlife here.
Now that we know how to break the chain for the future, what actually happens to those who have already passed away? Well, the source reveals a massive spiritual secret regarding the afterlife. We usually think of Haetal, or liberation, as this mystical state a soul just achieves on its own after death. But the source completely redefines this. It explains that liberation is actually a team effort. Freedom is granted to ancestors only when their living descendants learn to live joyfully, enlightened, and fulfilled lives. Let that sink in. The dead cannot free themselves. We, the living, hold the key.
There is a direct cause and effect relationship going on here. It's like a mirror. If we, the descendants, are suffering, wandering around, and living in ignorance, our ancestors remain trapped, anxious, and burdened. But if we figure out how to live joyfully and meaningfully, boom, our ancestors are instantly liberated and joyful right alongside us. The source is very clear. There are absolutely no exceptions to this universal rule.
Because of this, we really have to reframe our grief. Look, it is incredibly natural to hurt when watching a parent suffer. Of course it is, but we must actively take their blood and tears and transform them into the fertilizer for our own spiritual growth and our contribution to society. By using the pain of their unfulfilled lives as fuel to build a truly great life, we are actually healing their unresolved sorrow. It's beautiful, really.
Section 4. Inner independence, outer global prosperity. Moving from family karma to human history.
This realization takes us all the way from the micro level of family karma to the grand macro scale of human history. The source explicitly states, "We were born on this land with the historical mission of the nation." That is a seriously powerful cultural callback. And what it does is, it shifts your identity entirely. You are no longer just a grieving child in a hospital room. No way! You are a historical figure tasked with a grand mission. Think about it. You are the intellectual culmination of thousands of years of your ancestors' sacrifices. Humanity has been evolving, suffering, and gathering knowledge for millennia, and it has all been leading right up to you, the modern intellectual. You are literally sitting at the absolute peak of your family's evolutionary journey.
And because you're sitting at that peak, you've got a job to do. This builds into what the source presents as the ultimate formula for universal healing. Step 1, you have to use the knowledge all around you to figure out and produce the right way to live. Step 2, you don't just keep that secret for your family, you leave it out there for all of humanity. And step 3, by doing this massive societal good, you automatically resolve all your ancestors' sorrows. It's a win-win-win. The source calls this sharing the right law. Humanity has nurtured us with its collective knowledge for centuries, and now, well, it's time to return the favor. And here is the real kicker. True global contribution isn't just about giving money or buying houses for people. Honestly, that's not enough. We must provide the spiritual light, the profound, hard-won lessons we learned from our own family's suffering to stop others from wandering in the dark.
And this brings us right to the climax of this incredible philosophy. You are a historical figure. Your enlightenment changes the world. Just by understanding the concepts in this explainer, by taking your family's pain, really learning its lesson, and sharing that light with society, you become a pivotal part of human history. You aren't just saving yourself anymore. You are saving your ancestors, and you are guiding humanity forward.
So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a lingering, provocative thought to chew on. What legacy will you leave to break your family's chain? Don't just let the suffering of your past dictate your future. Use it, learn from it, and go out there and be the one who finally cuts the chain and brings light to the next generation. Thank you so much for joining me today, and keep learning.